first initial reaction when I read this was, this is brave. This is unique.
One more. Reset.
This is original.
It's unlike anything I'd read before.
Action!
In terms of the tone of it and the humor and the fun, but also the heart of it.
I am the only one who cares for you.
You get comedy, you get the action, you get gore. The X Factor is you get Nick Cage, man. Nick Cage is playing Dracula. And then you throw in Nicholas Hoult, you throw in Awkwafina.
Rebecca, is this your boyfriend?
Shut the fuck up, Kyle!
Let's have blood squirting out of everybody. Let's have people getting superpowers and punching and exploding human beings. Guts and gore and comedy.
Like that, dear?
It kind of has everything.
I'm partnered with Robert Kirkman. We were talking with Peter Kramer, our executive at Universal, about working inside the monster universe. So Robert was like, what if we told the Dracula story, but someone in his orbit? What if we came at Dracula through Renfield?
So I was trying to think of a human way into a Dracula story. One of the things that drove me to zombies with The Walking Dead was zombies don't have personalities. You can't really focus on them. So you kind of have to focus on the people living in the thrall of Dracula, having to work for Dracula. It seems like there's an interesting story there.
Robert Kirkman told me about this movie idea, and he gave me the brief pitch of it. I thought this is exactly the kind of movie I want to write.
Yeah, I don't ask for much, Renfield. You're just the blood of a few dozen innocent people.
I'm sorry, Master.
This isn't a monster movie in the sense that we're making a true Dracula movie.
A story about a character with a pretty relatable problem, which is a guy with a terrible boss. The boss just happens to be Dracula.
Hello, Renfield.
It's kind of like a study of a toxic relationship that we see so often.
I suppose that's a no as to you bringing me my dinner tonight.
Now we're applying it to a supernatural horror comedy.
Big yes to dinner.
I think there's one layer to it, which is the traditional Renfield Dracula layer. And then Nick is bringing this aspect of guilt, of reflection you have not seen with Renfields of the past.
One of the greatest challenges of this story is finding a way to take a mass murderer, a serial killer, and turning him into someone that you want to win. Hoult is one of the best actors at taking a despicable character and somehow making him lovable.
I had sent it with a list of names, and I said, Nick Hoult, and don't read any of the other names because there is no one more perfect.
There's a fine line here of tragic comedy. I think Nick Holt's approach is vulnerable, and I like that. It's in his eyes. So he's got this Chaplin-esque comedic charm and this really vulnerable, soulful quality in his eyes. It's very effective on camera.
Everyone you care about will suffer.
I went back and watched the classic Dracula movie where Dwight Fry played Renfield brilliantly.
You know too much to live, Van Helsing. No, Renfield.
Stole what I could in terms of like Dwight Fry's laugh is so iconic. I tried to pepper that in occasionally. Just little nods to what came before, even though obviously the tone of this is very much a comedy, action, modern film and a modern interpretation of the character, so it gives me a lot of freedom.
You're a bad man, Mr. Renfield!
Yeah, well, sometimes that comes in handy. How many bugs have I eaten on set? I mean, considering it's a character that eats bugs to get their life force, I probably haven't eaten that many. We've got quite a few crickets, and those are just dried crickets.
Salt and vinegar flavored. Dried, crispy, it's pretty tasty.
Can you maybe save that for later?
Who knows about Renfield? The only thing anyone usually knows is that he eats bugs.
Nice and juicy.
Which wasn't in the original treatment, so I was like, you gotta have Renfield eating bugs, and then gotta have the bugs be like his spinach.
Clearly a very method actor. Just been eating bugs throughout this whole thing.
I would not recommend the potato bugs. They were very buggy in flavor.
Oh, sorry.
It's all...
Is it in my teeth?
It is in every tooth.
It's so much fun to do scenes with Nora because she's incredibly funny, but also so heartfelt and honest.
It's like we're reporters.
I know, but yeah. But
we're here live on the scene.
What he's bringing to this character is a level of humor that I think is really hard to embody. You know when something crazy happens, and the other person's like, it's okay, I've seen way worse. Everything I saw you do today is gonna be my way worse.
There's just such a true chemistry between Nick Holt and Awkwafina, and you really see that play on screen.
I find myself cracking up all the time when I'm working with him. There's chemistry between the two characters. One's innocence versus one's anger really balances each other out.
We own you too. So what's it gonna be?
Shoot me.
What?
I think Ben is awesome, and the way that he's playing Teddy, you really are rooting for their demise.
Awesome. This is gonna be fun as shit.
Doing scenes with Ben is brilliant.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Schwartz!
Hi, everybody. Ben Schwartz, Nick Holt here.
I had such a hard time not to burst into laughter because he is such a funny guy. Son!
Oh, Mom.
Ben's found a way to make him very funny, but also very believable and formidable as well.
There's no sugarcoating it. I am a gentleman who is doing a bunch of coke and killing a bunch of people immediately. A lot of fun to play a bad guy. Look at my hair, look at my tattoos. I mean, how fun is this? My family are like, what the fuck is going on? You get me looking like this, being an absolute maniac. It's been a blast. So I'll see you there at the movie theaters. Unless, is this for the DVD release? Is this for the Blu-ray? Okay, I'll see you in your living rooms.
I am Count Dracula.
You win. When I first saw Cage in the getup, I definitely got the chills.
It's been truly like one of the highlights of my career watching Nick Cage play Dracula.
You will make a very good assistant, Mr. Renfield.
It really was like, how about Nick Cage for Dracula? And everyone's like, whoa, really, dude? Like, yes, Nick Cage. The main thing I think he brings is this sense of menace. If Awkwafina brings a sort of sense of light and hope, he comes in and absolutely brings the terror and doom.
And you need someone for this role who's really gonna invest time and commitment and really go for it.
Let's eat.
Great. Yeah. Amazing.
Cool, man. Cage's Dracula has to be threatening, but at the same time does strike that balance of being incredibly funny. I don't know exactly how he pulled it off, but it was very impressive.
I'm just trying to get that feeling that I had when I went to see Landis's American Werewolf in London in the cinema. And I was just so blown away and charmed. I was laughing my head off, and I was terrified at the same time. This one is that, but I think there's also some genuine pathos. So I'm hoping for that feeling of comedy and horror with some East of Eden thrown in.
I will no longer tolerate abuse. Stop laughing.
Because it is the Renfield story, it gives us so much more room to have our own spin on it. And the department heads that we hired all also have their own personal connection. And you can feel the love in every single piece of detail and design.
So there was a lot of research. My husband did a painting of Vlad the Impaler, but put Nick Cage's face in there, and it came out looking fantastic.
Lisa, our costume designer, has built this wonderful suit. Renfield's probably been looking after for the last 100 years, repairing, and it's very worn down but functional, and he kind of hasn't changed his style throughout that time.
We wanted Nick to feel that this suit is kind of his protector, kind of take him back to the days before he gave his life to Dracula.
The suit, the moment I put it on, felt exactly how I'd imagined Renfield looking. And that goes even into what Christian Tinsley and Jules were doing with the makeup and the hair.
Base coat? Base coat. No, he puts a little bit of glitter in there to make it nice and sparkly, right?
Yep. We wanted to feel some of the stress that he's going through, understand the longevity of his life, deeper sockets, tired lower eyes. We're about to do the eyes, performance of the makeup, really, right? You know, framing the eyes.
I'll eat boys, I'll eat girls. It's a purity.
It's a wonderful irony in New Orleans with all the vampire lore that is around the city. He ends up in the best Renfield can do for a castle. Abandoned charity hospital. It was a working hospital up to Katrina, and then from Katrina to now, it basically has been off limits as a filming location. It's a place where people were saved, and now it's a place where people are eating.
Nose bush, palate cleanser.
Oh. New Orleans is an incredible backdrop for the film because as we go into places, people will be like, oh yeah, this place is haunted. And it's just like the idea and the feeling of it is so unique and interesting, and I think we bring that flair into the film.
We are in New Orleans. Cortezes, blood, you name it, we got it.
Cocaine as well.
Cocaine. Yeah.
Yes.
You mother...
Some of the locations we've shot in are like ultimate New Orleans staples. Alec killed it with the mulots. I thought that's just how mulots looked.
You think you'll get answers here?
What we basically did is also integrated all those other classic movies in the sign. Wolfman, Frankenstein, Invisible Man.
I think the entire city of New Orleans was talking about, like I was in Ubers where they were like, oh, you were shooting by that giant skull thing, right?
We're not playing with green screen. These sets were practical. You go to the Lobo compound and it's unbelievable.
Lobo compound, they had their dad in like a see-through casket that the ultimate MTV Cribs, you know? Like you have this gun wall, you have just cocaine everywhere. I never worked with that much prop coke before. It's like very cool. So much prop coke, dude.
Tonight we're going to be exploding a bag of cocaine.
What is that?
It's cocaine.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not. It's not real cocaine. Oh,
You're so full
I'm
of
not
shit.
really. I'm not.
Just move it.
I'm not the guy. I'm not.
You
the
have
guy.
the right to remain silent.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you say will be held.
3, 2, 1, go!
Is that
cocaine? Yeah.
It's a movie that is fun, fast, and action-packed, and it's very heartfelt. Hopefully something that people can really relate to as well. So I think if we've all done our jobs, it should feel like a fresh movie that people weren't expecting.